Hello and welcome to today's edition of the News in Brief, brought to you by
Graphic Communication is giving you the opportunity to have news not only in hard copy but also in a digital form. Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Visit us on graphic.com.gh for further information. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
In the headlines, fire destroys shops in Koforidua Central Business District. Former President John Mahama calls for independent audit of 2020 election results. And Commonwealth Secretary-General describes late Jerry Rawlings as an emblem of freedom, hope, and inspiration. Now the news in brief. Fire on Tuesday morning destroyed a number of shops in the Central Business District of Koforidua in the Eastern region, ravaging several shops before a spirited effort by the Ghana National Fire Service put out the fire. Traders who lost their wares to the fire were seen wailing at their loss, but many others who sell on tabletops and could whisk their wares to safety were seen shuttling across nearby streets with their goods.
Fire reportedly started at about 10 a.m. with a sudden little spark, which spread quickly and destroyed about 7 stores. Volunteers tried unsuccessfully to douse the fire before personnel of the fire service arrived with fire tenders. It took the firefighters about an hour to put out the fire, which had destroyed electrical appliances and combustible items such as cooking oil and plastic materials.
The National Democratic Congress flag bearer in the 2020 elections, former President John Mahama says an independent audit of the results of this year's disputed general elections will help to put matters to rest. According to him, the Electoral Commission has demonstrated gross incompetence in the conduct of the elections, particularly in the collation of this year's election results.
Speaking in an interview with the Voice of America's Peter Clotte, John Mahama described the 2020 elections as the most incompetent elections that the EC has ever supervised, saying everything about elections does not measure up to the standards that Ghana's Electoral Commission had attained for itself.
This is the most incompetent election we've had. I mean, everything about this election does not reach the standard that Ghana's Electoral Commission has attained for itself. Ghana's Electoral Commission is held in high esteem as one of the best electoral commissions. Unfortunately, this election, she can't even get the results right. The declaration is all over.
Meanwhile, the ruling New Patriotic Party says it is ready to work with the minority side of the opposition NDC in the 8th Parliament to be sworn into office in early January. According to the NPP's General Secretary John Boadu, it is untrue that the NDC has won majority in the just-ended parliamentary elections.
The EC has affirmed that indeed the New Patriotic Party has majority of seats as of now. Yet the NDC continue to insist that they have a parliamentary majority in spite of this glaring fact. I shudder to understand whether the basic 1, 2, 3, 4 that all of us were taught right at nursery, they also went through that process. But as we speak now, they should be clear. It should be clear to them that they don't have the 140 seats they are talking about. And they can't have it. Not in this election. The closeness of the parliamentary votes is Ghanaian way of telling us to collaborate and avoid the adversarial politics that has characterized most of our fourth Republican politics. We accept this challenge. We shall work with the minority for the interests of this country.
And still on election 2020, the National Women's Wing of the National Democratic Congress, led by the National Women Organizer Dr. Hannah Louisa Bisiu, Tuesday morning embarked on a street demonstration in Kumasi in the Ashanti Regional Capital to protest against the results announced by the Electoral Commission. The group believed that the elections were flawed and President Koforidua did not deserve to be declared a winner. They vowed to continue with their street protest until the EC reversed the declaration. And in our final story, the Secretary-General of the Commonwealth, Baroness Patricia Scotland, has described late former President Jerry Rawlings as an emblem of freedom, hope and inspiration who represented the best of Africa. Baroness Scotland says the former president was not just loved by the people of Ghana, but he was also an icon of Africa who represented freedom, liberty, good governance and the best of man.
In a touching tribute during a courtesy call on Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, former First Lady and widow of the late ex-president and her family on Monday, the Commonwealth Secretary-General said she had come to pay homage to what ex-President Rawlings strove to achieve during his lifetime. She said throughout the late president's tenure and throughout his whole career, he greatly cared for young people, their future, their hopes, their aspirations, and his humility and kindness is something that marked him apart from many of those from his era. A meeting on Tuesday is to firm up the date for Rawlings' burial, originally scheduled for 23rd December 2020.
Thank you for watching. Remember, COVID-19 is still with us. Protect yourself and all others by taking the necessary precautions. For more news, visit graphic.com.gh, log on to Facebook at Daily Graphic, and on YouTube at GraphicGH. I am Ama Mankwa Befi.